Good afternoon, everyone. Excited about the way we played on Saturday. Thought we played probably our most complete game since early September, and guys are playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of belief, and I think it all starts with their preparation. We've been really doing a nice job preparing Monday through Thursday, watching extra film and meeting with coaches and guys holding each other accountable to make sure that we are prepared, and then going out and having good, crisp practices, and then just kind of cleaning things up on Friday and Saturday. And we're playing faster. We're playing with more confidence, and obviously wins help that. And we've been successful the last couple of weeks, so energy's been good around here, and we're moving into the next week, big rivalry game against KU. Excited about the challenge. Go on the road and face a good KU team that we have to have great preparation, and guys got to do a great job here early on this week to make sure we have good game plans on all three phases to give ourselves a chance to be successful on Saturday.
Chris, what's your history with Lance Leipold at KU? Do you guys know each other?
I know Lance not as well as like Coach Riley knows him really well. But I've seen him at different conventions and stuff, have so much respect for him for what he's done at all different levels and success in winning national championships himself, and have so much respect for him, and everybody does in the profession because he's got a great body of work.
Do you have any updates on Joe Irvin, Phillip Brooks, and Malik Knowles, how they're doing?
Yeah, Joe's fine. Joe practiced yesterday, felt really good. Malik and Phillip did not practice yesterday. We're hopeful that they'll practice today, if not today, tomorrow. So I believe both of them will be good enough to play.
How much can you use Kansas's game against Oklahoma as a reason, or an example of how they can be dangerous?
Absolutely. The way you watch that game by itself, and they dominated the football game. They were focused. They were prepared really well. They had good plans on both sides of the ball. They really shut down OU's offense and had their way with them defensively, and that without question was a big opportunity for them. Had a chance to win the game, and so it's part of our cut-ups. We don't watch games individually, but it's part of our cut-ups, and they did some really good things.
How much have you kind of self-assessed your guys' running game? Has it had probably as much success as you'd like in almost a month?
As we've gotten into Big 12 play, people have done a really nice job against us. I thought we did a really good job this past weekend, rushing for 140 or so, and being able to run the ball late in the game like we were to try to close that game out. I think the balance has helped us. The fact that we're throwing the ball. Skyler's throwing the ball for an awful lot of yards and throwing the ball to an awful lot of receivers, and I think that's going to continue to help us moving forward. But I think the biggest thing for us is to stay balanced and make sure that we're not just a run team or spinning it around all over the place, but to have balance like we did last week.
More and more tight ends playing as well. Will Swanson and Connor Fox getting on the field. Is that kind of guys earning additional reps there, or you kind of have some on pitch counts as well?
Well, Will Swanson's earned the reps. He's done a really nice job being on scout team most of the year, and then that open week he did some really good things in good on good, so to speak, and so we've wanted to keep pushing him. And then Connor Fox has been injured, missed most of fall camp, then missed first half of the season, and he's finally getting back healthy and gaining confidence. And Connor's an exceptional football player. He just hasn't been healthy enough this year. I feel bad for him, but he is healthy now, so he's taken more of those reps. And to your point about pitch count, yeah, probably can keep Daniel and Nick and Sammy and some of those guys and cut their reps down a little bit to keep those guys fresh as well.
Chris, when a guy like Felix does have a great individual game like he did you sense the rest of the team feeding off him, getting momentum with his dance and everything?
Yeah, without question. They were excited for Felix. He brought a lot of energy with each sack that he was getting, and you could tell everybody knew the kind of game he was having, and people were feeding off that excitement. And it didn't matter if it was an offensive guy or defensive guy. Everybody knew the kind of special day that he was having, and it was pretty fun to watch on the sideline, pretty fun to watch post-game in the locker room, and the accolades that he's received this week are well-deserved. And it was just a fun experience for all of our guys to be a part of.
And I assume you saw it better on video, but after you do give up a safety in a game, what did you and Courtney Messingham talk about next time you're in that situation?
Well, we have to be able to get it out of there. We probably didn't ID the blocks as well as we would have liked to, and maybe you throw the ball. I don't know. We just have to be able to punch it out of there, and we weren't able to do that. And part of that is just the execution wasn't as good as it needed to be.
Coach, Jason Bean offers a element of quarterback run game that has given teams troubles. How does that impact what you're going to do?
He's really athletic, really fast. He's probably the fastest quarterback that we've seen thus far. I think Sanders is pretty comparable at Oklahoma State, but as far as a guy that really wants to run the ball and can stretch the field sideline to sideline and then has the speed to get around the corner or stick his foot in the ground and get north and south, it's something that has us really concerned as we begin and continue with our preparation this week. We have to find ways to try to keep him somewhat in the cylinder, in the box a little bit, and we have to do a great job rallying on him and bringing him down because I think he does add a dimension running the football that and they try to get him the ball on the perimeter that we haven't seen yet this year.
And they had great success against Oklahoma, not very much against Oklahoma State. Did it appear that third down conversions were a big part of that?
I think you got to give Oklahoma State's defense a lot of credit. I think they're really underrated, and maybe they're not underrated. I just think they're a phenomenal defense. They play fast. They know where their fits are at. They've got a bunch of veteran guys. We found out that's a tough defense to go and try to crack, and so I think when you get behind the sticks and you end up in third and long, and we were there as well, it's just hard to beat that defense.
Chris, in what ways have your run fits really benefited the defense overall in the last couple of weeks?
A couple things. We're getting good disruption up front. I think it starts with the nose tackles and Timmy and Eli, and then what we're getting out of our defensive ends, rotating all those guys. I think that's the first part of it. We're getting good disruption and good penetration up front, so that guys can be able to run and know where their fits are at, but be able to get off blocks as well. And then it's still the preparation of kind of knowing what the bread and butter run game is. We knew that against Texas Tech. We knew that against TCU, and we were able to slow that down. And I think it builds confidence in the guys when we're able to take away some of the bread and butter plays. And it's going to be kind of the same thing this week. We have to be able to stop some of their primary run game, and some of that's the quarterback, and some of that's just a really good young tailback to have.
And how solid has your perimeter coverage been over the last 2 weeks?
It's getting better. Really pleased with our corner play and our safety play over the last few weeks, making less mental errors, playing really fast, playing within the confines of the defense. Getting a pass rush is helping that, but we're also covering guys long enough that it's allowing our pass rush to get there. I think it's, they go hand in hand, us being able to rush the passers due to the fact we're covering a little bit better. We're playing, I think Coach Klieman is doing a really good job of mixing up man and zone. We're not strictly a zone team or even a man team on certain situational football situations. We're doing some really good things, and got to continue it, though. I mean, that for us to keep the leverage of the defense and keep the ball in front of us is important.
Coach, with the series that you guys have pretty much dominated the last few years, how hard is it to keep your team focused on the task at hand?
One, we're just trying to improve as a team. We went through a rough stretch, and we're trying to continue to get better. And I feel like the guys are getting better every day, and it's about attacking one day at a time. And if you do that, try to give yourself a chance to go 1-0. We have an awful lot of Kansas kids on this football team that this game means an awful lot to those people. It means awful lot to our fan base. It means an awful lot to the state. And it's cool because I think it means an awful lot to the guys from out of state, with us having close to 60 Kansas kids, somewhere in that vicinity of kids from our state. Those guys from Georgia or Texas or Colorado or wherever else, man, they want to play their tails off for these kids from Kansas.
Would you say that maybe there is a little bit more significance placed on this game just because it is a rivalry game as well?
Potentially, but you can't get into that stuff on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We got to focus on our preparation, and I think all that stuff will take care of itself with the excitement of the game as we get to Friday and Saturday. But we told the guys we cannot play this game on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. We have to focus on our preparation of each of those days so that we are prepared.
Chris, I think some people might be surprised that this is only your third season at Kansas State, and you've already risen up to one of the top 4 most tenured coaches in the league, just with all the movement that's happened. What's your reaction to that in the modern?
I didn't realize that, for starters. It's part of the business. It's the unfortunate part of the business that we all sign up for. It's not just the head coaches. It's a lot of support staffs and families and assistant coaches and all people that are involved. It's unfortunate, but we also understand it's part of the business. But I didn't think I would be one of the longer tenured coaches already in just 3 years. It's been hard for me to believe it's already been going on or in the middle of our third season here.
In KU's notes, it says they've only given up 2 sacks in the last 5 games, and I'm sure a lot of that has to do with Bean just getting rid of the football pretty quickly. But obviously they don't want King Felix to go nuts on them, so are you expecting KU to just try to get rid of it as fast as they can?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with his athleticism. He avoids a lot of sacks because he's so athletic and he feels pressure, and he does a good job of getting rid of the football and avoiding negative plays, and that's a credit to him. It's a credit to their offensive staff to make sure that he is avoiding those negative plays. But our concern is him scrambling around and making plays, whether it's with his arm, which we've seen him do on the run, or scrambling and making big first downs. It's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and nobody's open or people are covering people, and that kid takes off and runs for a first down. We've seen him do it in a number of games. And so, that's why for us to be balanced and knowing when we can rush 3, 4, 5, or 6, just to try to continue to change things up for him.
What has Ross Elder done to earn more playing time these last few games?
He just knows our system so well. He can play multiple positions. He probably split snaps last week with Sincere Mason, and Sincere's playing really well. We kind of moved Sincere around at positions like we have Ross, and both of them are really intelligent football players, and so we're trying to give guys equal snaps. I don't think either one of them we want to play 50, 60 snaps, but if we can keep both of them around 30, 35. But Ross knows the defense really well, and his confidence has gotten better, and he's playing on a lot of special teams as well.
If you look at Twitter, maybe Reggie Stubblefield is the one that probably wants to play this game the most, but he's also shown a lot of swagger on the field this season. What do you like about his attitude, like on and off the field?
Yeah, he has a lot of energy. Reggie doesn't, and he cares, and he's a great teammate and a guy that I think our kids feed off some of his energy. I think that Reggie's appreciative of the opportunity to play Big 12 football, appreciative of the opportunity that Kansas State has given him, and he's continued to improve. He's another kid that's played corner. He's played safety. He's playing a little bit of our nickel Sam backer. And I'm excited that he's having a really nice super senior year when I don't think in the summer Reg knew where he was going to play football at.
Okay. I guess. Most running backs seems like people measure them by their rushing yards, but with Deuce, you have to sort of evaluate a little bit different just because of the number of things he gives you. For example, just maybe more all-purpose yards.
Yeah. For us, it's all with him with all-purpose yards and touches. We're trying to find ways we can get him the football, whether it's out of the backfield, in the backfield, being in a slot receiver. The other thing that we keep finding more and more is when he is in the slot, a lot of people are doubling him, which gives Daniel or Phillip or Landry or Cade or any of these wide receivers or tight ends some more one-on-one opportunities. And there's some times that he's just been a decoy for us, but then everybody else we know has man coverage. And so I know he's a nightmare to have to prepare for, because we see it in practice all through spring and fall camp of we get into certain formations. It's like, okay, he's man-to-man on the linebacker. We're totally screwed here unless we put a safety down there to help him. And that's the thing that excites me is he's an unselfish player too. Deuce wants to win, and he knows we're going to find ways to get him the football, but most importantly, he wants to win, and however that helps the team do it, he's going to do that. And, last week late, because of Phil and Malik being down, we had to put him back on punts, and he might be the guy that goes back on punts and kickoff returns, which is, another way to get the kid the football. I don't know if opponents really, Malik and Phillip are really good, but then all of a sudden you see 22 back there. Do you want to kick it to him real badly? I don't think they probably do, but, he might be the guy that goes back on kicks and punts based on how Malik and Phil continue to progress.
Also, I know it's a rivalry game, but also a win gets you bowl eligible. Is that something you guys discuss yet?
We have not talked about that at all. I'm excited because we're continuing to improve. And I told the guys that on Thursday after practice last week, after finishing up the TCU prep and just watching us and guys moving faster, playing with more confidence. That's what I'm excited about. There's a lot of season left, and we want to just continue to get better each week.
Well, Chris, based off a couple of other questions you've already answered that are similar to this, I guess I know what you're maybe going to say, but we'll see if I get you to say something different.
If you want me to, I will.
Well, it's just that I don't know. Is there any talk, do you think, maybe later in the week about the fact that, K-State's won 12 straight in this series, and just that you don't want to be the team that, hey, you go off and you were the team that lost the streak?
I don't think you ever want to approach anything like that. It's out there. Do you talk about it? No, because you bring light to something. It's just like bringing light to negative things upon yourself as a person or a program or a corporation. I think it's more of, we have to do the things, and that's what we talked about on Saturday night in the locker room after the game. Why were we successful the last 2 weeks? I really believe it was the preparation we had, which gave us confidence, which also led to giving us more belief on the field. If we do those things, that's what's exciting us as a coaching staff, is we're getting better each week, and the kids are gaining more confidence and belief through our preparation. And so, will the guys talk about some of that stuff? I don't know, but it's not anything that we bring up as a staff.
And then secondly, you guys are absolutely dominating fourth quarters. You've outscored opponents 81-30. Is there anything, I think, maybe specific you attribute that to?
No, not really. We're looking at, we always try to be in great condition and continue to work the game from an adjustment standpoint to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward in the fourth quarter. But we look at, we got to start faster in the third quarter on offense. We have to start faster in the first quarter on defense. We look at more of the things that are maybe limiting us or limiting our success as a football team. And how can we shore up those things? I didn't think we were particularly really good on special teams on Saturday. I thought we were okay. I was excited that Chris Tennant got a chance to kick a field goal to get him a chance in that situation rather than PATs. I thought our punt and kick coverage were just okay. I thought our kick return unit was just okay. We didn't really have many opportunities on punt return. They did a really nice job. But those are the things we have to continue to improve on. Just like fourth quarter, we've had success. Red zone, we were better in red zone defense last week. Can we continue to put points on the board when we get in the red zone on offense?
Daniel, it seems like every time he touches the ball, a big play happens. And he has 9 catches, but he averages 30 yards of reception. Is getting him the ball going to be more of a focus for you guys as you move down the stretch?
He's really benefited from a couple of great play actions that we've done and us being able to run the ball at those specific times where maybe somebody in the back end falls asleep and he's a guy that can take it the distance. Which he's done in 2 big-time plays that he's had. I think it's within the framework of our offense of how much he gets the ball, whether it's X amount of catches. There's not any secret to it other than the fact that we know he has that big play capability. And when he gets the ball in his hands in the open field, he's a tough guy to bring down, and he's got great speed.
Chris, when you talk about getting better, you start fall camp back in early August. How much of a grind is it now, and how hard is it to get better in November?
Well, it's really hard because guys' bodies are beat up, and we've got to do a great job of making sure that we keep guys fresh. during the week, as well as getting guys repetition so that we know what we're doing. Rotating guys, we're rotating an awful lot at certain positions. At other positions, we don't have the depth to rotate. But just probably doing the same thing. The one thing that I have appreciated, even when we were struggling a little bit, we didn't reinvent the wheel offensively. We didn't reinvent the wheel defensively and say we're going to make wholesale changes on things. We stayed with a lot of our bread and butter, even if that meant we threw the ball more against Texas Tech. I see us line up in no back and one back sets all spring, all fall long, for when those opportunities come that we have to use it, we do. Really, the last 2 weeks on defense, we've played as base a defense as we have that we've done all spring, all fall. We're just executing it better. So if we're doing that and executing it better, then I know the guys are gaining more confidence. And you can see that because we still are going K-State ones versus K-State ones on each side of the ball every Tuesday and Wednesday for whether it's 10 plays, 16 plays, something so that we can continue to get good on good against each other.
You referenced Chris Tennant. That was his first action. It hasn't been talked about as much this year as last year, but do you still have it mapped out as to those that you want to try and play for 4 games and get them that extra?
Yes and no. It's so hard to keep track of right now. It really is, because all those guys that played last year, you don't really have to count that. So it's so difficult. And anymore, I think if a young man can help you and help your team win, you want to have conversations with that kid, but give him the chance to play, because you just never know what's going to happen to you. You know, look at Taylor Poitier. We've played him last year late in the season when he started to get really good. Well, we were so excited about it. Well, then he loses this year to an injury. Khalid Duke. So if a kid's healthy, I think you try to play him, because you just can't predict the future as far as, if they're going to be healthy for all 3, 4, or 5 years they're here.
Chris, college football is kind of crazy right now, but you're a part of one of the longest uninterrupted series in college football, one of the old school rivalries that still remain. What's the specialness in being a part of that rivalry?
Well, I think it's so special for our state, and it's so special for both fan bases to be able to say it's a short drive for either team to be able to go watch their home team play on the road, and I know it's really important to the coaches here. It's really important to our players that are from the state, and I always have a few of our Kansas kids address the guys early in the week about the importance of the rivalry. I thought last night we had Mason Barta, who has a great history in the rivalry. Nick Allen did last night. Echo Boydo, who doesn't say a lot, but he's a Lawrence kid, and how important this game is. And there's other ones that did it as well. But that's the thing that you want some of these guys from outside the state to realize how great this rivalry is and how special it is to play in this game and have an opportunity, because it'll be people will be excited. We're going to get KU's best shot, and I think KU is going to get our best shot. That's the thing that you don't have to say anything special about getting ready to play this game, and I'm sure Lance won't have to say anything either. It's a fun game to be a part of.
One final question, too, from me. You enter the locker room, the governor's there. This is the only game during a regular season you're playing for a trophy. What is that moment like in that locker room when you receive that trophy?
I can't even remember, because it was a COVID before, so we're just looking to prepare this week to give ourselves a chance to be successful.
Yeah, I'll jump in one more. I've been holding the mic. Chris, and I'm sorry I lost my train of thought here about what I was going to ask you. I feel like an idiot. I'm trying to remember what it was that I had on my mind. Oh, it was Skylar mentioned after the game Saturday, just the confidence that comes from winning a game and it not being like Texas Tech, where it was a nail biter and you had to. Did you sense any kind of sense Saturday, just like the confidence that comes from winning a game and winning convincingly and not having to sweat out the fourth quarter?
No. Yeah, no, I haven't noticed anything yet. I know our guys were proud of how well we played for 4 quarters. We had some slip-ups here and there offensively or defensively, but for the most part we played a full 4-quarter game, and obviously against Texas Tech we did not, but found a way to win. That's why I thought that game was such an important win, as we didn't play very well at all in the first half and still found a way. And then, take that confidence and belief you had from that game and come home and play at home on homecoming, which is a special time to win at homecoming, and our guys play as well as they did. I'm looking for crisp practices this week where there's limited mental errors, there's limited mental mistakes, where our guys are flying around, playing fast, having great communication, and pretty locked in on their assignment. We're still making some mental errors and things that we can clean up. That's the thing that even when you have success, like we did this past week, we can still say, okay, we have to shore this phase of our offense up or this phase of our defense. And it's probably easier to get their attention after a win to say, you know what, we can be better. And they can see it as they watch film that we definitely can be better.
Chris, to my knowledge, Tyrone House only treated as unsportsmanlike conduct. He doesn't face any other consequences.
No, he misses the first half of this next game. I didn't realize that until Sunday, that they let us know that it's probably similar to a targeting penalty. So he'll miss the first half of this game.
Last thing, what are your impressions of Devin Neal, key running back?
Yeah, he's a tremendous football player to play as a true freshman. I got to know Devin through the recruiting process, and so much respect for he and his family. Great young man, and I'm excited for his success that he's having as a true freshman, and hopefully we can limit that success this weekend. But great kid, great family.